certain members of the opposition, especially from the India Alliance, believe and have continued to believe from a very long time that they are above the nation's law. Even earlier, at multiple instances when legal proceedings were initiated against many BJP leaders, including the then Chief Minister of Gujarat, Shri Narendra Modi ji, then Home Minister of Gujarat, Amit Shah ji, we never went to the streets. We never went in protest in this manner. There are video clippings available of Modi ji going before the SIT, going before the officials, CBI, any other officials, other bodies, cooperating with the investigation, hours together deposing before the authorities, and finally approaching various courts up to the Supreme Court, fighting a legal battle to get the names cleared, to get justice delivered. So people who believe in the system, people who believe that the constitution and the laws are equally applicable to everybody, behave in this fashion. Those who think they are an exception to the rule of law, those who think that they are above the constitution, those families who think that because of the privilege of being born in a particular dynasty and having ruled the country for so many years, they are above the constitution and the law, they are now going onto the streets and crying hoarse because for the first time the long arm of the law has caught up with them. I urge these parties to first understand and come to terms with the fact that all Indians are equal before the law, that the Constitution of India is supreme. It does not make any exception for any political family or any particular leader. And having come to that understanding, they must then approach the various courts of law in case they feel that injustice has been meted out to them. Courts in India are an independent authority. Nobody can deny the fact that Indian Constitution protects and has given the judiciary a fierce independence, which the judiciary also has guarded. When just 2 days ago, the judiciary passed a judgment, the Supreme Court gave a judgment against the electoral bonds. It was hailed by the very same sections as a blow to the government. And today these very people, when we ask them to go to the same courts, are saying that even the courts are compromised. So this kind of a hypocritic argument will not hold water. People of the country are very keenly watching the attitude and behavior of these parties who have wrongly, illegally amassed wealth of the public through corruption. For the first time, these organizations, these parties and these leaders are being held accountable. The long arm of the law has finally reached them. And at this moment, these people are crying hoarse. So to all those who say ED is being abused, to all those who say CBI is being abused, I will only ask them to recall the days when the very same agencies hounded literally at political instance the Prime Minister of the country, the Home Minister of the country today, and how, like any other common citizen, they cooperated before the investigating authorities. From trial court to Supreme Court, went through the whole legal process to get justice. Go approach the Supreme Court, go approach the courts of law. Our courts will protect the just and will punish those who are guilty.
So the arrest, the opposition says that was a diversion tactics from electoral bond issue. Yesterday some disclosures were made and
the opposition is free to say what they want. The Delhi liquor gate issue is not a thing of yesterday or day before. It's been going on from almost a couple of years now. The Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi has been in jail from more than a year now. If the courts had not found themselves satisfied with the prima facie evidence that the investigating authorities had submitted before it, then these very people would have been out on bail by now. The fact that none of the courts have satisfied themselves of the inability of evidence or the inadmissibility of evidence and are convinced of a prima facie case is why these high constitutional functionaries of the Delhi government are still in jail. What is stopping them from going before the courts? On one day you say that the courts have given a judgment which has gone against the government, And on the other day, when we ask them to go before the very same courts, and those courts do not entertain your plea, you blame the judiciary and say the judiciary is also compromised. So please do not make this argument of convenience. Do not make this argument based on hypocrisy. The constitution of the country has guaranteed all of us an independent judiciary, which is a basic structure of the constitution. The judiciary has also fiercely guarded its independence. Go before the courts. No person or no political party is above the rule of law, nor is it above the constitution. Please face the law just like every single other common Indian faces and come out clean. Thank you so much.
Congress has released second list in which 8 sitting ministers' daughters or sons have been given ticket.
Sir, just a minute ago, a Congress aspirant from Davangere, one Vinay Kumar, who is a self-made youngster who runs a very popular IAS coaching academy here in Bangalore, and with whom I had the privilege of recording a podcast recently. Despite the fact that he was a Congress sympathizer, I had gone and recorded the podcast because he's a well-meaning youngster and I really want good young people to come into politics. Just a few minutes ago, after his ticket was denied, he put this tweet out. He said, "I wanted to prove that it's not our fault to be born in ordinary families." He said that I wanted to prove that it's not our fault to be born in ordinary families. He was a good-meaning youngster, well-meaning youngster, came from a very humble background, came to Bangalore, started this IAS academy, literally has coached thousands of people, has made a name for himself, but he was denied the ticket because it was given to a particular family. This is the curse of dynasty polity. This is the curse of dynasty polity in the country's polity. And if a man as capable as Vinay Kumar can arrive at a frustration where he says that I once wanted to prove that it's not to be a curse to be born in ordinary families, imagine the pain that normal Congress Karyakartas would have felt when the list would have come out. Which is why the Prime Minister has launched a war against nepotism, a war against dynasty politics across the country. Without this, common youngsters coming from ordinary families can never aspire for a political office in this country. This is the unfortunate reality that the Congress party's list also displays. If the Congress party cannot find 10 young people in 10 assembly Lok Sabha seats who do not come from political families, it shows the bankruptcy of the Congress party's leadership in both Karnataka and elsewhere.
So you approach election commission, what's the issue?
In 2019 Lok Sabha elections, a lot of voters who wanted to vote for Prime Minister Modi, who wanted to vote for the BJP, found to their shock that their names were missing from the voter list upon reaching the election booth on the day of polling. In my constituency alone, there were literally thousands of such cases that were reported that day. Immediately after the polling day, all the 3 candidates of BJP then had approached the State Election Commission, had given a complaint. So this time around, we do not want the same thing to get repeated. We also felt that the Congress government in the state had then randomly deleted voters, assuming that certain voters in particular geographies may generally have a tendency for voting for the BJP. Whatever is called the BJP belt areas, BJP voters, these areas were randomly removed. This was an apprehension. So we have now complained to the Election Commission and forewarned them that such an instance must not reoccur on the day of the polling this time. So the Election Commissioner, the Chief Electoral Officer, has advised us 2 things. One, I am making an appeal to all the voters of the city. Please check your voter rolls. Go on the website of the Election Commission and check your voter lists. In case your name is available, well and good. The last election list, voter list, is published on the 26th of January 2024. So if your name is not found on the voter list, and if your name is found on the deleted list, even that deleted list will be published. And if your name has been deleted without giving you due notice, if your name has been published, deleted without doing the necessary due process, following the Mahajar, etc., then immediately register yourself as a voter by going on the voter website, the election website. You can register yourself as a voter up to 25th of March evening 5 p.m. So please do that. Second, if your name is deleted illegally without giving you notice, you can file a protest complaint against such deletion to the Chief Electoral Officer, and officers who were responsible for such illegal deletion, they will be taken to task. So my request to all the voters of the city, irrespective of the political choice that you want to make, because voting is a right that we have in a democracy, you still have 3 days. Please check your voter list. It is available on the website. If your name is found on the deleted list, or if your name is not found in the electoral list, please register yourself as a voter immediately. You have time till the 25th of March until 5 p.m. in the evening. Thereafter, you can also, if your name is deleted illegally without giving you notice, without doing the Mahajar, file a complaint to the Chief Electoral Officer that your name was deleted. So please register your votes. 26th of April will be a festival of democracy in Bengaluru. We must ensure maximum number of voters come out and poll, because each vote of yours will determine the future of the nation for the next 5 years. Thank you so much.